We have time for discussion, so if there's anyone who has any questions for any of the speakers, I don't know if you want to stay up there or, yeah. Anyone have questions? Yep.
Christian.
I got a general question, actually, but and then maybe we can just break up and go look at posters, and if we don't have a lot of general questions, and talk to individuals. But Ryan's talk in particular brought up the question in my mind about, well, what kind of technique should we use? And because in most of our minds, historically, we've used the same kind of techniques have been used geochemically. But this brings up another ball of wax, is what would be best for my particular problem. So one thing I didn't understand from your talk, Ryan, is what was the motivation for going to the lead isotopes in this case?
There's no glass.
Well,
There's no glass.
no. Okay.
That was easy.
Other questions, discussion about anything from this morning, this afternoon?
I have a question, another question for Ryan.
Okay.
Ryan, you had no glass, but you did have K-feldspar with trace elements in it.
Yeah.
What kind of results do you think you would have gotten? What kind of results do you think you would have gotten if you just done maybe regular ICP-MS looking at a range of trace elements compared to the lead isotope work?
So you mean on the feldspars themselves?
Yes.
So I don't know. I don't have a good feel for what the normal range of trace elements in feldspars are. I think we probably would have been able to do something interesting with it. We definitely see structure in the major element compositions. So some of the tops can break out even in the calcium, barium, potassium, sodium space, but not everything. Definitely, lead isotopes add another dimension to that. The benefit that I see to lead isotopes is that they're relatively invariant. So you can, in a magnet chamber, you can actually produce ranges of compositions in glasses and in feldspars, whereas they tend to be relatively invariant in terms of isotopic compositions. But yeah, that probably would have been, and probably still is, a great thing to do in those samples. I agree. It depends on what kind of instrumentation you have access to, and what kind of problems, and what kind of samples you had, and what kind of problems you want to solve. So we had access to MCI-CPMS instrument with a laser, so we can do fancy lead isotope measurements. But whatever answers your problem.
Have you done any
Just
work?
can I just speak on that? I think you probably find that they're quite strongly zoned.
Yeah.
Whereas the lead isotopes will be essentially fixed across the system because they're invariant.
Yeah.
The traces you'll have, they're enriched cores and Chomsky volumes and all sorts. But I think it gets messy.
Yeah, getting the average by using a laser too. So getting an average of a variant isotope composition is much better than getting an average between very different trace levels.
All right, I think we probably all need to stand up. I think there's cookies and coffee and such in the